Okay, so we're back to sketching graphs of transformations of basic functions. We've just added a new basic function. And this is an exponential. And it's not just an exponential, but it's an exponential with a base that's greater than 1. And so I know that an exponential with a base greater than 1 has this basic shape to it. Horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. It starts at its left end behavior approaches that horizontal asymptote, and its right end behavior goes to infinity, and it passes through the point 0, 1. It's going to have a y-intercept of 0, 1 for the basic graph of a to the x, where a is greater than 1. Okay, well, what I've actually been given here, though, is some transformations on that basic graph. But the transformations work the same way that they always have. And so I have a reflection, I have a vertical reflection of this. That's what the negative in front of the 2 to the x does. And then I have a shift down of 1 because I take all of the outputs of my 2 to the x and I'm taking 1 away from them. And so I have two transformations at play here. I have a vertical reflection, and that's from the negative sign multiplied by my function. And then I have a vertical shift, and that's from the negative 1 that's being taken away from all of the outputs of the negative 2 to the x. And so if that's my base function, my first transformation here, we'll make a smaller grid than that because I got to do a second one here. So my first transformation is going to be the negative 2 to the x. So this would be my f of x equals 2 to the x sketch. And so now my sketch of f of x, well, we'll call it g of x, equals negative f of x, which is that vertical reflection. That'll be negative 2 to the x. And so instead of going through the point 0, 1, it's going to go through the point 0, negative 1. And instead of approaching the horizontal asymptote from above, it's going to approach the horizontal asymptote from below. And instead of going off towards positive infinity, it's going to go off towards negative infinity. Okay, so that takes care of the vertical reflection. Now I need to do the vertical shift. And so that's kind of my first sketch, my intermediate sketch. And then this will be the final version of my sketch. And so this will actually be my, we'll call it h of x. H of x equals negative 2 to the x minus 1. And so what I want to do is I want to take that, which was my g of x, and I want to subtract 1 from all of the outputs. And so what that's going to do is that's going to take this sketch and it's going to shift it down by 1, because it's going to take all the y values and take 1 away from all the y values. And so where I was at a negative 1 for my y-intercept, now I'm going to be at a negative 2 for my y-intercept. And where I did have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0, now I'm going to have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 1. And so my sketch will end up looking something like that. Now, I am letting you all use calculators for the final, and so it's perfectly reasonable to then go check this and say negative 2 to the x minus 1, and window of, let's make that negative 10 to 10, negative 10 to 10, and graph that. And you can see, if we zoom in vertically here, that my y-intercept is negative 2. And if we zoom out horizontally, we can see that that horizontal asymptote is at negative 1, and that the end behavior is, as I showed it, it's going toward the horizontal asymptote on the left and negative infinity on the right. And so that's how we would include this new type of base graph, this new exponential base graph, in our typical sketching by transformation method that we've done before. Hope that helps out.